Hi guys, welcome to the Saving Money Show with me, your host Sean. Here I am live. If you find any of today's entertainment informative, don't forget to smash that lovely like button. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Now, today I'm going to go through why I recommended Raytheon, and I was asked how I come up with my valuation. Well, when I value something, I don't just value it with one type of valuation. There's different ways to value a company, and I do it with financial statements, the PE ratio, price to book, price to earnings, dividend valuation, the forward, the backward, which is where you take the company's valuation before they merged of both companies, and then you use it to look at the valuation going forward. Now, we can, and that's how I put it all together to come up with valuations, and I try to, that's why some of them I come up with the same valuation, and some of them you come up with a range. However, I was asked about Raytheon, how I come up with that. Basically, I come up with a valuation of 92. Fair valuation of 92, but then when you take the assets in, it comes to 92, but when you take the debt away from that 92, it comes down to 78. And then I did a different type of valuation. I valued it how it would be in 2021, which it could be difficult. I valued it should be 78, and once we bring it back a year, it comes down to 72. I did another type of valuation where I valued it at I valued it at 75 when I factored in all the figures. I used different methods for each one of these valuations, and it's not to say one method is better than another, it's just I like to be a bit more stringent. But something you will realise is that whatever method I used, they all come out within a 72 to 78 region. So that's how I come out with a fair value share of 75. And considering that Raytheon at the moment is between 50 and 60, if I'm correct, there you go, 60, then is fairly good. And of course that fair value is dependent on the fact that its biggest earner is from the Defence Department. The second biggest was from Airbus. The third biggest was from Boeing. So the second and third has dried up, but it still has all the rest of it as well. As its biggest one is the missiles. It's still receiving that. As I said in the previous one, received a huge contract recently. Then I said how it received a contract from about the satellites software. So that's another one which is, it has a huge moat. So even when the aerospace side slows down, like at the moment, it is still making money. So those of you who didn't get into General Dynamics when I recommended you, you can still get in, you can still make money on General Dynamics. It's just not as good an offer as when I said, because if we see General Dynamics, there you go, General Dynamics, it was, oh, I said at the bottom, I said when it was 101, and then I said again at 110. Now you General Dynamics is still a good value. If you look at Boeing's share price, it is the same discount. General Dynamics is the same discount as Boeing is, and it's a defence arm. So with everything that's going on, it's worth picking up General Dynamics and Raytheon. But for those of you who asked me how I valued it, that is the way I used. 5 different ways to value it, and they all come out a similar. They all come out a similar valuation. So when they've come out a similar valuation, I then average it out. It comes out, and if it's a similar valuation, as I said, between 72 and 78, and the value of the stock is below the low point, then I know I'm going to be getting good value. I always put a conservative value on my shares. That way I know I'm getting best value. For instance, when analysts were putting a value of 220 on Facebook, I had a value of 200, and that was when that analysts had downgraded Facebook. And it's always good to do it that way, because it leaves, it's whether it's stocks, shares or real estate, purely because if something happens out of the blue and it leaves you a wiggle room. So if something happens that affects the share price, that drops it 10% or 20%, then you've factored that in already. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe button. I'm sorry for the angle. I'm sorry for all the noises and the distractions. It is because I'm live, and it is because someone's asked for it as quick as possible, because they're hoping to trade before, as soon as it opens.